When tying in a live service drop during a service change, adhering to strict safety protocols and utilizing appropriate equipment is essential. This includes prioritizing personal protective equipment or PPE, alongside specialized tools and meticulous procedures. Firstly, insulated gloves are crucial. These gloves, typically Class 1 rated, provide protection against electrical shock and burns. It's essential to ensure the gloves are rated for the voltage of the live conductors you're working with. Secondly, safety glasses with side shields are a necessity. These prevent accidental contact with conductive materials or debris that may be present during the service change. Thirdly, a hard hat is required to protect against falling debris or accidental head injuries that could occur in the work area. Fourthly, consider wearing a protective suit. This could be made of cotton, leather, or flame-resistant material, and provides additional protection against electrical burns and arc flash hazards. Moving on to tools and equipment, the selection and proper use of these items are crucial for safety. Fifthly, insulated hand tools are essential for preventing electrical shocks and burns. This includes insulated screwdrivers, pliers, and other hand tools. Sixthly, an insulated ladder provides a safe and non-conductive way to access the service drop. Ensure the ladder is in good condition and rated for the weight it will be supporting. Seventhly, a fuse puller or hook stick is used to safely remove fuses or open disconnect switches, avoiding direct contact with live components. Eighthly, a conduit bender is used to bend conduit around obstacles and provide support for the new service drop. Ninthly, grounding equipment is vital. It's used to ground the service drop before working on it, providing a safe path for fault currents. This includes ground rods, grounding clamps, and appropriate grounding conductors. In addition to PPE and specialized tools, other safety measures are crucial. Tenthly, barricades or warning signs should be used to prevent unauthorized access to the work area. This helps to protect both workers and the public from potential hazards. 11thly, communication with the utility provider is essential. Inform them of the work being performed and ensure their cooperation, especially regarding potential power outages or other service interruptions. 12thly, and finally, it is imperative to follow proper lockout/tagout procedures. This prevents accidental energization of the service drop while work is being performed. This involves disconnecting the power source, applying a lock and tag to the disconnect switch, and verifying that the power is off before starting work. Regarding insulated gloves, it's crucial to understand their proper use and maintenance. Before each use, inspect the gloves for any signs of damage, such as cuts, tears, or punctures. Perform an air test by inflating the gloves to check for leaks. If any damage is found, discard the gloves and use a new pair. Keep the gloves clean and dry, and store them properly when not in use. When working with live conductors, always wear the gloves in conjunction with leather protectors to provide additional mechanical protection. Safety glasses should also be inspected before each use to ensure they are clean and free of scratches or cracks. Choose safety glasses that fit properly and provide adequate coverage. If you wear prescription glasses, consider using prescription safety glasses or goggles that fit over your regular glasses. When it comes to hard hats, ensure that it fits properly and is in good condition. Inspect the hard hat for any cracks, dents, or other damage. Replace the hard hat if it has been subjected to a significant impact, even if there is no visible damage. Adjust the suspension system to ensure a snug and comfortable fit. Insulated tools are designed to provide protection against electrical shock, but they are not foolproof. Always inspect the tools before each use to ensure the insulation is intact and free of damage. Do not use insulated tools if the insulation is cracked, cut, or otherwise damaged. Keep the tools clean and dry, and store them properly when not in use. An insulated ladder should be inspected before each use to ensure it is in good condition. Check for any cracks, splits, or other damage to the rails or rungs. Ensure that the ladder is placed on a stable and level surface. Do not use the ladder if it is damaged or unstable. When using grounding equipment, it is important to follow proper grounding procedures. Connect the grounding equipment to a known ground source, such as a grounding rod or the grounding electrode conductor. Ensure that the grounding connections are clean and tight. Use a grounding meter to verify that the service drop is properly grounded before starting work. Lockout/tagout procedures are critical for preventing accidental energization of the service drop. Before starting work, identify all potential sources of energy that could energize the service drop. Disconnect all sources of energy and apply a lock and tag to each disconnect switch. The lock should be unique to the worker performing the work, and the tag should identify the worker and the reason for the lockout. Verify that the power is off by using a voltage tester to check the conductors. Even with all of these safety measures in place, it is important to remain vigilant and aware of your surroundings. Avoid distractions and stay focused on the task at hand. If you are unsure about any aspect of the work, ask for help from a qualified electrician. Never take shortcuts or compromise safety for the sake of speed or convenience. Working with live electrical conductors is inherently dangerous, but by following proper safety procedures and using the appropriate equipment, you can minimize the risk of injury. Always prioritize safety and take the time to do the job right. Remember, electricity can be deadly, and it is always better to be safe than sorry. In addition to the equipment and procedures already mentioned, there are other factors to consider when working on a live service drop. These include weather conditions, the presence of other workers, and the proximity of other utilities. Avoid working on a live service drop in wet or stormy weather. Water can conduct electricity and increase the risk of electric shock. If you must work in wet conditions, take extra precautions to protect yourself from moisture. Ensure that all equipment is properly grounded and that you are wearing appropriate rain gear. Be aware of the presence of other workers in the area. Maintain a safe working distance and communicate clearly with other workers to avoid accidents. If you are working near other utilities such as gas lines or water lines, take extra precautions to avoid damaging them. Call the appropriate utility companies to locate and mark the utilities before starting work. When working on a live service drop, it is important to have a clear understanding of the electrical system. Know the voltage of the conductors you are working with and the potential hazards associated with that voltage. Be familiar with the electrical codes and regulations that apply to the work you are performing. If you are not a qualified electrician, do not attempt to work on a live service drop. Hire a qualified electrician to perform the work safely and correctly. Continuing on, the training and experience of the personnel involved are also paramount. Only qualified electricians with specific training in working on live electrical systems should perform such tasks. This training should cover topics such as electrical safety, hazard awareness, proper use of PPE, and lockout/tagout procedures. Regular refresher training is also important to ensure that electricians stay up to date on the latest safety practices. The Job Safety Analysis or JSA should be conducted before starting any work on a live service drop. A JSA is a systematic process for identifying potential hazards and developing control measures to mitigate those hazards. The JSA should be documented and reviewed by all workers involved in the task. The JSA should address topics such as electrical hazards, fall hazards, struck by hazards, and caught in between hazards. The control measures identified in the JSA should be implemented before starting work. In addition to the JSA, a pre-job briefing should be conducted before starting any work on a live service drop. The pre-job briefing should be a short meeting to discuss the work to be performed, the potential hazards, and the control measures that will be used. All workers involved in the task should attend the pre-job briefing. The pre-job briefing should be documented and kept on file. When working on a live service drop, it is important to have a designated safety observer. The safety observer is responsible for monitoring the work and ensuring that all safety procedures are followed. The safety observer should be a qualified electrician with experience in working on live electrical systems. The safety observer should have the authority to stop the work if they observe any unsafe conditions. In case of an emergency, it is important to have a plan in place. The emergency plan should include procedures for contacting emergency services, evacuating the work area, and providing first aid. All workers should be familiar with the emergency plan. The emergency plan should be documented and kept on file. After completing the work on the live service drop, it is important to conduct a post-job review. The post-job review should be a meeting to discuss the work that was performed, the challenges that were encountered, and the lessons that were learned. All workers involved in the task should attend a post-job review. The post-job review should be documented and kept on file. By following these additional safety measures, you can further reduce the risk of injury when working on a live service drop. Remember, safety is always the top priority. Never compromise safety for the sake of speed or convenience. Take the time to do the job right, and you will be able to work safely and effectively. The specific requirements for safety equipment and procedures may vary depending on the jurisdiction and the utility company. Always consult with your local authorities and the utility company to ensure that you are following all applicable regulations. Some utility companies may require specific training or certifications before allowing electricians to work on their systems. Be sure to obtain any necessary training or certifications before starting work. The information provided here is intended for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician or other safety professional before working on a live service drop. There are many resources available to help you learn more about electrical safety. The National Electrical Code or NEC, the National Fire Protection Association or NFPA, and the Occupational Safety and Health Administration or OSHA all have publications and training programs on electrical safety. Take advantage of these resources to improve your knowledge and skills. Working on live electrical systems is a serious business, and it should only be undertaken by qualified professionals who are properly trained and equipped. By following the safety procedures outlined here, you can minimize the risk of injury and ensure that the work is done safely and effectively. Always remember that electricity can be deadly, and it is always better to be safe than sorry.